For every live-action DC villain fans adore, there's one they wish never existed. Starting with Black Adam, played by Dwayne Johnson. From the start, Black Adam never felt like a DC story, it felt like a Dwayne Johnson power fantasy.
I got this. Go get it.
He's invincible. He barely talks. And every character around him exists just to say how unstoppable he is. Instead of building suspense or struggle, the film gives us a hero who can do literally everything, with no real flaws and no real stakes. Fans were already upset with the chaos in the DCEU, and Black Adam made it worse. The film tries to set up a new corner of the universe, introduces the Justice Society out of nowhere, and throws canon to the wind. It ignored Shazam, skipped Superman's continuity, and tried to bulldoze its way into relevance. The Rock hyped this film like it was the next Endgame. He teased Henry Cavill's Superman return, hinted at massive crossovers, and claimed Black Adam would reshape the DCU, but when the movie dropped, it made less than Shazam, and those big universe plans, gone within weeks. Cavill was out, Gunn rebooted, and Black Adam was tossed aside like he never mattered. The film sits at 38% on Rotten Tomatoes, and even fans who wanted to like it couldn't defend it. The tone was messy, the villain was forgettable. The Justice Society had no backstory, and Black Adam himself. He looked cool, but he didn't feel real. There was no arc, no vulnerability, just destruction and slow-mo shots.
You know what I have to do.
But if Black Adam was a lesson in how not to introduce a DC villain, our next character is the exact opposite. A villain so iconic, so bone-chillingly brilliant that he didn't just steal the movie, he redefined what a comic book villain could be. We're talking about Heath Ledger's Joker, not just the most loved DC villain, but possibly the most legendary villain in movie history. From the moment he walked onto the screen, licking his scars and talking about why so serious.
Why so serious?
Something clicked. This wasn't cartoon Joker. This wasn't over-the-top camp. This was raw, grounded, terrifying madness. Ledger locked himself away for weeks preparing for the role, created the voice, the laugh, the stare. Everything felt unstable, like he could snap at any second, or already had, and that's exactly why fans loved it. Unlike most villains, he didn't want money, or power, or even to win. He just wanted to watch the world burn. Every time he told the story of his scars, it changed because the truth didn't matter to him, only the reaction did. He was unpredictable, uncontrollable, and completely untouchable. You couldn't reason with him. You couldn't stop him. Even when he lost, he won, turning Harvey Dent into a monster and proving his point. Everyone's just one bad day away. The Dark Knight is a Batman film, but let's be real, this was his movie. Every scene he was in, iconic. The pencil trick, the interrogation, the hospital explosion. Fans didn't just love the Joker, they were haunted by him. His lines became memes, his presence became legend. No CGI, no glowing eyes, just performance and legacy. When Ledger posthumously won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, it wasn't out of sympathy, it was because everyone knew what they had witnessed: greatness. He didn't just elevate the movie, he elevated the entire genre. Before Joker, comic book villains were side dishes. After Joker, they became the main course. But for every villain that redefines the game, there's another that's supposed to, but doesn't. And unfortunately, Darkseid, one of the most powerful beings in the entire DC universe, ended up being more forgettable than feared. Darkseid was teased as this almighty threat, the puppet master behind Steppenwolf, the warlord who once conquered thousands of worlds. But when he finally appears, he does nothing. Literally, he just stands there, watches, talks, frowns, and lets Steppenwolf do all the dirty work. There's no fight, no moment of dominance, no scene where we feel what makes him different from any other CGI villain.
Steppenwolf.
For someone who's supposed to be the DC Universe's Thanos, he didn't even get to snap his fingers. The writing gave Darkseid all the wrong energy. Instead of being poetic or terrifying, his lines felt stiff, robotic. Ray Porter tried to give him presence, but the script never gave him moments. Some fans had issues with his look too. His face was dull, the armor generic, and unlike Thanos, whose expressions and presence felt alive, Darkseid felt more like a PlayStation 3 cutscene. Even during the flashback battle when he's nearly killed by Ares, the scene felt rushed and underwhelming. For a character who's supposed to command legions and break worlds, he got bodied like a regular foot soldier. The biggest issue? He didn't matter. Justice League teased Darkseid as the next phase of the DCEU, but the moment the Snyderverse collapsed, so did all hope of seeing him again. But while Darkseid was a god who did nothing, our next villain had no throne, no army, no apocalyptic powers, just hatred, speed, and a mind so twisted, he became one of the most dangerous villains DC has ever put on screen. We're talking about Eobard Thawne, aka Reverse Flash, and no one brought him to life better than Tom Cavanaugh. Cavanaugh didn't play Thawne as loud or cartoonish. He played him calm, cold, patient. As Harrison Wells, he earned Team Flash's trust, taught Barry everything he knew, pushed him to get faster, all while planning to destroy him.
Barry Allen.
The reveal that Wells was actually Eobard Thawne in disguise. One of the most shocking twists in modern TV, and the performance only got better after that. Unlike other villains who rant and rave, Thawne was methodical. He didn't need to shout. One smirk, one whisper, one sarcastic, "Run! Barry! Run!" And fans felt the threat. He didn't just beat Barry with speed, he beat him mentally. He knew every move before Barry even made it. He was the nightmare Barry could never outrun. Over 9 seasons, Tom Cavanaugh returned again and again in different timelines, different faces, and different plots, and somehow, he never got stale. Each version of Reverse Flash felt connected yet distinct, always driven by his sick obsession with Barry Allen. Not to win, but to ruin. Whether he was stealing speed, messing with time, or killing off beloved characters, Reverse Flash never stopped being a menace. Ask any DC fan who their favorite live-action TV villain is, and Cavanaugh's Reverse Flash is always in the top 3. He was terrifying without being over the top, and even when you hated him, you couldn't wait to see him again. He made Barry stronger by being his worst fear. A villain with history, intelligence, style, and pain. But for every villain who earns legendary status, there's one who feels like a meme the moment they show up. And when it comes to Enchantress, played by Cara Delevingne in Suicide Squad 2016, fans didn't just hate the character, they questioned how she even made it into the movie. Let's start with the elephant in the room, the weird, awkward, CGI-infused belly dance summoning spell. Instead of looking dark or mystical, it looked like a low-budget music video. Memes exploded across the internet. The villain was no longer terrifying, she was laughable. And when the audience is laughing at your final boss instead of fearing her, that's game over. Enchantress is supposed to be a powerful ancient sorceress, someone who could rival the Justice League. Her plan is vague, her motives, something about building a machine and ruling the world. She's more smoke than substance. Literally, a cloud of magic and glitter with no soul behind the eyes. The whole point of Suicide Squad is that the villains have personal stakes, but Enchantress, she barely interacts with anyone, and when she does, it's forced. Even Rick Flag's relationship with June Moon, her human side, felt flat. We're told there's love there, but we never feel it. So when the squad finally turns on her, it doesn't feel like a team rising against a threat. It feels like they're cleaning up a mess the movie made. But after seeing a villain as passive and disappointing as Darkseid, we turn to someone who does steal the show. Not with brute strength, but with calculated intelligence, sizzling presence, and cold ambition. Meet Lex Luthor, as nailed by Nicholas Hoult. Hoult's transformation is outstanding. Bald, sharp suit, piercing gaze. He looks like he owns the city, and maybe the entire planet. Fans were shocked to learn it was him under the head. That kind of physical dedication, it sets the tone.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
This isn't your cartoon villain. Hoult plays Lex as a man who genuinely thinks he's better than everyone else. Across reviews and social media, there's one recurring theme. This is the best live-action Lex Luthor we've ever had. One user even compared him to Heath Ledger's Joker, calling him a generational villain. In interviews, Hoult explained his dedication. There is nothing I won't do for a role. And yes, he shaved his head, got into Lex's mindset, built an immortal ego. His performance brings intelligence, rage, and real danger. Lex isn't just plotting, he lives it. Nicholas Hoult owns the Lex Luthor legacy. He's smart, ruthless, stylish, and truly the brain, not the brawn. He elevates James Gunn's Superman beyond typical hero versus villain tropes. He makes you fear the mind behind the plan, not just the power.
12C, 18A, 34B.
And for a generation craving a villain who thinks, not just talks, he's the best one yet. Nicholas Hoult deserves the crown. Lex Luthor was cold, calculated, and unforgettable. But our next villain, he was supposed to be terrifying. Instead, he looked like a half-melted Ninja Turtle thrown into a microwave. We're talking about Doomsday from Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. The first thing fans noticed, he didn't look like Doomsday. He looked like a gray blob with bones randomly popping out of his body halfway through the fight. No iconic spikes, no horrifying presence, just bad lighting, muddy textures, and unfinished video game graphics. Memes compared him to Shrek, a cave troll, and an angry potato. And once the jokes started, they didn't stop. Robin Atkin Downes technically voiced him, but let's be honest, Doomsday had no character, no backstory, no motive, no words. He was just a screaming nuclear rage monster that existed to punch things. And for a villain who was meant to deliver the most emotional death in comic book history, Superman's sacrifice, this version felt soulless. Batman vs. Superman was already juggling Batman, Wonder Woman, Lex Luthor, the Death of Superman arc, and Justice League setup. Adding Doomsday? It felt like a studio exec said, let's blow up the third act with something big and loud. There was no build-up, no fear, just confusion. One of DC's most important villains became a plot device, nothing more. In the comics, Superman's battle with Doomsday is legendary. Brutal, long, a true sacrifice. But in the movie, it happens 15 minutes after they meet. We don't know this monster. We don't feel anything about him. So when Superman dies, it feels cheap, like the movie was checking boxes. Even fans who liked the movie admit Doomsday was a waste. Doomsday was loud, messy, and forgettable. But our next villain? He didn't need to destroy cities, he just needed a smirk, a limp, and a voice so greasy you could feel the corruption leaking through the screen. Colin Farrell's Penguin in The Batman wasn't just good, he was so good. Fans demanded an entire spin-off show before the credits even rolled. He's real, grounded, terrifying in the way actual mobsters are terrifying. From his scarred face to his grunting laugh, every detail screamed authenticity. He wasn't playing a comic book villain, he was playing a dangerous man who's used to getting away with anything. Despite having limited screen time, Penguin stole every single scene. The club scene? Iconic. The car chase through Gotham? Instant classic. And the interrogation where he waddles off yelling, "What is this? Good cop, bad cop?" Fans couldn't get enough. Social media lit up, critics praised his nuance. Farrell didn't overplay him, he let the sleaze simmer, and it worked. Penguin wasn't the main villain in The Batman, but he was clearly next in line. When Gotham's criminal underworld collapses, you know who's gonna rise up and take the throne. Farrell's Penguin isn't a side character, he's a time bomb. Calculated, dangerous, hungry. And fans wanted more. So much more, in fact, that HBO gave him his own Penguin spin-off series, officially part of Matt Reeves' Gotham universe. It's rare for DC fans to agree on anything, but Colin Farrell's Penguin universally loved. He felt fresh without disrespecting the legacy, scary without being supernatural, and strangely, kind of fun to watch.